Welcome to the Women Are Worthy show. Today we have a very special guest. I had the opportunity of interviewing this, what do I want to call him? At the time, a teen phenom. This guy is phenomenal, okay? Once you hear his voice, okay? Once you hear his voice. So without further ado, I want to introduce 2019 Teen Artist of the Year at the Georgia Country Awards, Mr. Garrett
Hello, everybody.
Wheeler.
Thanks for having
What's
me,
up?
Jackie.
What's up?
Just, same old, aside from the whole, virus madness.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, he is my unofficial nephew. I think that's where we
Mhm.
left it, right? We're still waiting for the paperwork to come through.
Be any moment now.
So, Garrett, let's start this show by talking about you're very talented. I met you when you were doing, I think you were doing a dual, you were in high school and college, correct? If
Yes,
I'm not
ma'am.
mistaken. So, what is going on with your education? Let's talk about that.
So you met me in 2018 in the fall. So at that point, I was doing my first semester of dual enrollment at Kennesaw State University. So then did that semester, and the next one went fine, and I graduated high school technically in 2019. So now I have just finished my first year of college outside of high school. So I just got down my first two, I guess, official semesters, if you want to call them that. But yeah, no, so everyone's taking summer classes. I'm not. I needed some time to rest. But yeah, here we are.
First of all, congratulations on your award.
Thank you very much.
Oh God, I know I have a celebrity in the family.
Something like that. I was really surprised when the nomination came in, just because of what I do. A lot more people tend to call it rock and roll, I guess. And I've done some shows where I had people come up and they're like, everyone was marketing you as country. You're not country. I'm like, depends on who you ask, I guess. So when that came in, I was really shocked. But yeah, no, went to the award ceremony down in Macon, Georgia at the Crazy Bowl. And it was a real fun time. And I wound up getting the award. So that was a really awesome surprise.
Well deserved.
Oh,
So I want to start off before I'm asking you questions because we're gonna jump around because it's like I'm your mom. Like I gave birth to you because I'm bragging about you all the time. So I hope Robin is not upset that I'm bragging so much, and I'm just so proud. I'm uber proud of you. So can you just play a little something for us,
of
please?
course,
Let's start
yeah.
off the show with because we need something good and funky.
Let me figure out where to put my guitar pick. Went around here someplace.
Wait till you hear his voice. Oh my God. Wait till you hear his voice.
1 minute. Nothing but professional.
That's okay. So I interviewed him in 2018. We were doing an event for women. We were helping single women. And this young gentleman was so gracious to offer his services because we wanted a musical act. And when I say he blew us away, he blew us away. So I'm his number one fan. If you're his number one fan out there, I'm sorry. I'm his number one fan. So, okay, it's all yours now, Garrett.
Alrighty, I think we'll be all set. This is a song I put out in November of last year. It was the first single off my record that I have coming out July 10th. This song's called Birmingham. We'll start off on a upbeat note. See your eyes across the bar. You're with another guy, but to me it don't matter much. Music plays, the night goes on. You're still there, I'm still sitting here alone. You look like Los Angeles, but we're down in Dixieland. And I'll be damned if I sleep alone tonight in Birmingham. Slow time, you're heading out. That other guy, well, you ain't welcome now. So I'll take my chance. And I guess we'll see if you'll find out how good a mistake can be. Tomorrow there'll be hell to pay, but I don't give a damn. I'll be damned if I sleep alone tonight in Birmingham. Well, can't we stop just wasting time? Girl, you know it's on my mind. I figure you and me, we'll make it just fine. Tomorrow there'll be hell to pay, but I don't give a damn. And I'll be damned if I sleep alone tonight in Birmingham. 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 Birmingham.
Wow. What was the inspiration for that?
That was one of those songs. Most of my songs, especially the ones that made the record, they're very personal. This one was one of the exceptions to that. I just sat down. Well, there goes my guitar pick. That was comical. But I just sat down and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write a rock and roll song and see what happens. And very rarely does this happen for me, but I sat down and wrote down pretty much the entire song in about half an hour. And for the most part, I might have changed a word or two, but other than that, it was one of those that just, boom, it was there. So I'm very rarely that lucky, but with that one, it was easy.
Well, I know all the songs are personal to you on the album, but what song can you speak of or speak to that is the most personal, and why?
There was one song that started the record. It's actually it's the last track on the record. It's the one I close off with. It's called Now That You're Gone. I had this was back, like, I wrote this song when I was 15 maybe, and I'd just gotten out of my first like really strong relationship, and it ended very badly, you know, just as things do sometimes. And I was playing a lot of shows. Like, that's when everything musically started picking up a whole lot more. And I was playing a show in Woodstock, and one of the waitresses who I talked to was at some bar, and it was either the waitress or the bartender, but I was talking to her, and it was driving me crazy. The perfume that she was wearing was the same one that my ex-girlfriend used to wear all the time. So I just got this line in my head. It was like, your perfume running like poison through my veins. So and I sat down, and that was the first song. I wound up pretty much writing that one in the same about half-hour span too. That one came very quickly, and it really inspired, like, sound-wise and sonically, pretty much the whole rest of the record. And it's probably lyrically one of my favorite ones on the record. So
Well,
good things out of bad situations.
Hopefully we can hear it tonight. But what's her name again? No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. We're not going to do anything to her.
I don't want to put her on blast.
Well, we're not going to do that. Your mom is pretty amazing. She is so supportive. You have a great support staff.
She's the bomb.
She is amazing. Now, for those out there that are thinking about going into the music business, because, you know, we hear a lot of horror stories, what advice would you give someone who they have the talent, they may not be confident, but they're kind of, you know, on the fence? Because I think we should never die with the dream inside of us. We should at least pursue it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But we should at least pursue it. What gems of advice would you like to give someone right now?
I feel funny giving advice, because the thing that really got me started, and I think the best thing for me, was I played a lot of open mics just all over North Georgia. And I wound up making friends with a lot of people and a lot of other musicians who are just talently off the spectrum. They're amazing. And they're, especially in this area, you'll wind up finding that, you know, a lot of people with like-minded interests. They're really good people. So it was meeting people who have been doing this a whole lot longer than I had been. Like most of these people, they've been doing it since my age, but they're 25, 26, 30, 35. And they wound up giving me a lot of just little tips. And whenever I would come up to like situations that I wouldn't know how to proceed, like, recording a record and contracts, and even picking which shows to play and which ones to turn down, the best advice for me was hearing from, or being able to have people who've been doing this longer than I have to ask. And in being friends with all of them, I hear a lot of horror stories of their own. So the best thing for me is just stepping back and listening to what they have to say and learning from other people's mistakes instead of having to make them myself, which you're still going to make your own mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But it helps a lot, and it will help you avoid a lot of others if you just reach out to other people. Like, go on Instagram, find people in the area, reach out, because most people, they want to help.
I agree. Garrett, can we talk about how important it is that we support, number one, the underground artists,
Oh,
or artists who are not signed with independent labels? It's so important. And that's the goal that I'm working on right now, because it's so easy to speak it. I have a platform and I want to make sure that everyone's being heard, particularly artists who are not signed with the major labels. You're skyrocketing, so you're there anyway. But for people who are not in your boat, let's talk about, because you were in that boat at one point. You were doing the open mics. I would like you to really talk to people about that we should support people who are not with the major labels, and why.
No, it's true, because even if you don't look to play music, if you go out to a lot of open mics, especially in the North Georgia area where we're at, there's just a huge boom of talent, and it's truly off the charts. Like, I find myself stepping, like every time I leave, I always wind up like almost upset at like, these people should be so much bigger, but they're not. And it's all just a matter of getting out and listening to it and putting in the work to try and find some underground stuff, which thankfully a lot of people are doing more today than they have been before, just because with music being online now for the most part, and big radio not being the biggest deciding factor on whether you make it or break it. It's people are doing a lot more digging and getting into smaller artists than they usually would. And social media, it's a blessing and a curse. But social media has helped a lot, just because, like, as much as people hate it because they don't pay you too much for your music, Spotify and like the recommended artists that you get, most of the music I listen to nowadays has come from like Spotify recommendations on my playlist of bands who are, smaller, and artists who are smaller. And it's through stuff like that that artists are being able to grow. And it's really cool how that's being able to happen more nowadays. But it's all a matter of, getting out and putting in a little work to try and find music, especially local music. But around here, that's pretty easy.
You introduced me to, I think it was called Whiskey.
Whiskey Magnolia,
Yeah, and I connected with her, and she was so good. I called this young lady because this is what I want to do, just make the connection, because I think I'm a connector. So what I did was, she was on the show and she just sounded amazing. I contacted someone that was doing a play. She's writing music for the play, and I believe she's going to be in the play as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, well, just like you're awesome. Now, how can we support you? Because that's so important. What do we need to do to support you? Because, next year or the year after, when all this coronavirus, you need to be winning a Grammy. So what can we do to support you? I'm speaking that into existence.
Hey, I'll take it. Grammy's coming in the next couple years. But the best way to support, I guess, me and other artists in my same boat really is live shows, going out to live shows. Because, for the most part, that's what makes artists money. That's what gets you heard by different people. Like, go out to a live show and say, hey, I'm going to see this musician. They're really cool. I think you should come listen to this. And, the more and more people do that, that's how music gets traction, especially nowadays. And then buying music, like most of the artists I listen to and smaller artists, I always make it a point because I'll admit I use Spotify to listen to all of my music. But since I know how little Spotify pays artists, you
Right.
know, if you really like the music and you really want to support, a great way to do that is to go and buy the record, whether it be a CD or a vinyl, or even if you buy it digitally, because all that most of that money winds up going to the artists and buying merchandise too, like T-shirts, stickers. You know, most everybody's slinging it nowadays, and that's another great way to really support artists.
Well, I need you to send me your link so I can forward it on to people because I have music heads on my page. Music heads, they'll go back and listen to the shows. They'll buy, the CDs, they'll buy the merch. So make sure, Robin, make sure you send me the information. Now, Garrett, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
It's hard to say. I'm not sure. I'll be honest. I can't even really tell you where I see myself 5 hours from now. I'm really bad at not planning ahead. So I'm just.
Well, we're talking about your music. We're talking about your music. Where do you see? Because it's 2020. Where would you like to have your music? Where would you like to see it?
I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is just being able to keep doing what I'm doing, just on an increasing scale. So right now, I'm full time outside of KSU. I do music full time, playing shows and stuff. So it's just a matter of, 5 years from now, I want to be playing bigger venues than I am. I want to be selling more records. I want to be making more records, which is awesome. As I'm coming up to the release of my first record, I've had like a wave of like the beginnings of new songs coming to me. So that's been really cool after experiencing a lot of like writer's block. But yeah, no, just writing more music and playing music and having more and more people listen, I guess, because I'm very happy doing what I'm doing now. I just like to be doing it to a larger audience.
Well, I'm going to read some of the comments. Basically, we have, let me see what the first comment was. We have, remember I asked you, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
So Dad wants to know, he'd like to know where you would like to see yourself. He wants to know where would you see yourself 5 years from now also. So he was just being funny with that. Your mom, Robin, says, God gave us two hands and we can use one to lift others. And that is so true. Jaquan Larka says, yes, sir, Garrett. Because I want to reach you. Am I saying his name right? Am I saying it right or not? Because you're laughing at me.
Oh, I'm not.
I thought you knew. Mason said, your record is coming out exactly 1 month from now.
Today is the 10th. Yes, it is.
So 1 month from today. So where can we buy the record? What's the name of the record? Come on, let's get it together. Come
The
on.
record is I have some CDs here. So the record is a self-titled record. If you want to purchase it, physical copies, I have CDs made already. And the thing I'm doing right now to help promote the sale of the CDs is if you buy a CD before the record comes out, you'll be able to get it before it releases digitally and online. But when the record does come out, it'll be on all major retailers like Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Amazon Music. It's even going to be on TikTok. So it'll truly be just about everywhere you can find music.
So what's the next music you'd like to play?
The next song I'm going to play, I released two singles from the record before it released. The first one was Birmingham, which I played earlier.
Yes.
And this next song I just put out, forgive me as I step out. I'm grabbing my guitar pick. When I sat it down, it cartwheeled off the side of my little table over here. But the second song that I put out, it's one of the songs off the record. It's one that didn't really stem from the same source as the rest of the songs. And the song was a song about an old friend of mine who I'm still really good friends with. But this next song I put out last week on Friday. It's been out for a week now. And this one's called Lily. Before I start, I would like to say the recorded version of the song, I did it as a duet with my really good friend Jana Jennings. She's an awesome singer-songwriter, one of the most beautiful voices I've heard. So please check out the studio recording of this so you can hear her. She makes it like 10 times better. And check out her music as well. She's an amazing songwriter. But yeah,
Okay.
here's my song, Lily. Can't forget the dim candlelight, yet the fire in your eyes made the room seem to shine so bright. In your sleek black dress, you were a sight. Only took one look to know you could be the dark to my light. Oh, Lily, I wish I could sing you a song. Oh, Lily, I wish that you would sing along. Was a sweet 16 in an old ballroom, the curls swirling through your hair. You stole my heart when you hit the stairs. I was young, had no clue what to do, so I gently took your hand and I asked for a dance or two. Oh, Lily, wish I could sing you a song. Oh, Lily, I wish that you would sing along. But we started talking less and less. We grew up and apart, but that's life, I guess. Years have passed since I left that night and I let you slip away. Now things ain't the same. There's nothing I wouldn't do if I could go back and slow dance with you. Oh, Lily, wish I could sing you a song. Oh, Lily, wish that you would sing along. Oh, Lily. There you go, a little pretty one.
That was so good, Garrett.
Thank you very much.
I like that song. Someone said they love the song and it's a beautiful song. And they were talking about Jenna. Is that her name? Jenna Jennings. She's on the show. Jana. Yeah, I would like to get her on the show as well because I definitely would love to hear her duet. Now, what I need for you to do is, can you tell people how they can get in contact with you? Because if someone wants to book you, because you know the state is open now, so people, and because of the environment that we're living in, we need some music. We need some Garrett music. So how can they reach out? Who can they reach out to? We want to talk about your handles and how can, if they want to book you, where should they go?
I got you. The best way to get to all of my social media platforms fast is my website. It's Garrett Wheeler Music, It's 2 R's and 2 T's in Garrett, GarrettWheelerMusic.com. And then through there, you can find my Instagram, which is Garrett Wheeler Official, or my Facebook page. If you look up Garrett Wheeler or Garrett Wheeler Music and look for the hair, you will be bound to find something that resembles me. And if you just shoot me a message on any of those, or I have my email attached to all of my social medias and my website. So just feel free to shoot me a message, a DM, an email, and please reach out. Let me know what you think.
I can't with you when you said the hair. I just can't with you right now, okay? Can't. Who are you listening to? Do you have a particular band or a person, a solo artist that you're listening to?
Oh yeah, a few. I'll start off with a couple local, and then I'll name a few who are a little bigger. So local, one of my good friends. I'm friends with all the guys in this band, and they're really awesome musically. And they've got some new material that's been coming out. The Chip McGuire Band. They're based out of Marietta, and they're kind of similar to what I do, but they're really awesome. Woody Earwood, he's a singer-songwriter from around here. He's amazing. Jana Jennings, who she's sang with me on that, and we're really good friends as well. And Clayton Wyatt, he just relocated down here a couple years ago. He lived up in Washington, but he's really cool and probably one of my favorite lyricists around here. Definitely one of my favorite vocalists of all time. He's got a beautiful falsetto. And I'm really lucky. I play bass in his band when we do full band shows, so that's really fun too. And then a couple larger artists. I always say the band that got me started in music in the first place. The first time I was on your show, I did one of their songs, Lucero. They're a band based out of Memphis, Tennessee, and I truly credit me pursuing music to them. Rustin Kelly, he's a singer-songwriter out of Nashville, and he's got a new record coming out in August that I'm really excited for. And the White Buffalo, he's out of California. So they're all artists who are popular and they tour nationwide and really across the world, but still flying sort of comfortably under the radar. So yeah, if you look up any of those bands, you're bound to find a couple songs you like.
So what kind of music, if someone were to say, are you country, what kind of a music, what genre would you consider yourself?
The best blanket term I've found that makes most people happy, I guess, is Americana. People ask for a better description. I always say, think of if Tom Petty mixed with Bruce Springsteen a little bit. That's like the best sort of blanket term I can throw to it. But yeah, no, somewhere between Americana and rock and roll, I guess.
And because I remember and I wanted you to bring that up because I remember when I asked you the first time, you have definitely matured. And I didn't think you could have gotten any better when I first interviewed you. And of course, we were in the same room and I'm sitting in the rocking chair. And I was hoping what you didn't understand was when you were playing, I wanted to go to sleep. Not because I was tired. No. Wait, I don't want the hate right now. I wasn't not saying I wanted to go to sleep because it was boring. I was so relaxed. It was almost like I was meditating. Okay. See, you thought I wasn't going to go there. It was almost like I was meditating and I'm rocking in the rocking chair. And I'm like, okay, Jackie, this is an interview. This is an interview. You cannot go to sleep. It was one of those things where they talk about music soothes the soul. And it really, just listening to your voice, it does soothe the soul. It's almost one of those music you can play when you're having a hard day because you have that voice. You have this grown ass voice, okay, beyond your years. It's like that voice. I keep forgetting your age. And when I hear your voice, I'm like, okay, who's behind him? So are you taking voice lessons? Because you got it going on there. Do you take voice lessons? What do you do?
I used to take voice lessons about, I think around the time of our last interview and on for about a year. I took voice lessons with Diane Sharp at Jan Smith Studios, and she's super talented. And she really opened up a lot with my voice that I didn't think I would ever be able to do. So she really helped me out a lot. She's awesome. But currently I'm not doing it. But no, Diane Sharp is the bomb.
Well, I want to make sure that you guys, between you and your team, I get a list because of the way how the social media algorithms are. I don't get to see everything. So I need you guys to message me. I know your mom does it sometimes. Message me when you're going to be playing, when we're opened, really, when everyone's
Right.
going to a concert. Because I definitely want to support you. I want to come out and bring some friends to support you, spend my money. I'm not asking gifting anything. I'm talking about spending my money because you mentioned earlier, which is so true. In order to support an artist, it's to buy their merch, go to a concert, buy their records, you know? So I definitely want to extend and do that because you're a talented person and you're from the younger generation, and we need to start supporting the younger generation. And that's what I definitely want to do. Um, Olivia, she's in Australia. She's on my
Oh
page. I
wow.
just love her. She's in Australia and she said your song reached her and she's all the way in Australia. Okay. And trust me, Garrett, for her giving a compliment, it's a lot.
Well,
Okay.
thank you
So for
very
her to
much.
say
It's
that, that's
appreciated.
just, yeah. So I just want you to know that you are reaching many people. We want you to continue doing what you're doing because you're so awesome. Not just talented person. I don't want to just put it around the music. I think your mom and father, they did a phenomenal job with
Oh,
you.
thank you.
So, and they don't have to worry about you at all. You know, some kids, you're not one that they have to worry because you're kind hearted. And the fact when I was looking for another musician, another group, you brought that young lady to us, you know, the team. And then I developed a relationship with her. So you're not selfish. You do believe in the music village and sharing. So I really respect you for doing that. And I want you to continue to have abundant success because you deserve it. So I need you again to give out your website and give out your social media handle, at least on Instagram. And I'm going to post that again. But you're going to take us away with the song because I'm using up that voice. Okay. Because I'm going to be playing this over and over again. You're not going to get off easy. So I'd like you to give us your social media on Instagram, and we'd like you to close out the show with another song, if it's okay with
Of
you.
course, of course. Yeah. So on Instagram, my Instagram is Garrett Wheeler Official, and if you forget that, just type in Garrett Wheeler and look for the hair. It's the best way of finding me. I would say.
Look for the hair. He kills me. This guy kills me.
As far as this last song that I'm gonna do, it actually ties in well with my music recommendations and what I was talking about earlier. When I recorded this song in the version that's on the record, I brought up the Chip McGuire band earlier. My good friend Preston Smith, he's a great singer and a great banjo player of all things. We cut this together in the studio, and the version that made the record was a take that we did. It was just two or three microphones right on the studio floor, and we did it live. And this was the first song that I wrote off the record. This one's Now That You're Gone. And
Wait, don't play it yet because Olivia is asking that. Can you please bring him back for a year's anniversary? Miss Olivia, I don't know if you read my comment. I said he's my nephew. Okay. So he will be back. Okay. Now, no, wait, I can't promise that because you know, when these guys, when they're Grammys and these multiple awards and they're traveling and all that, you know, you can see I've been watching a lot of country documentary and things. When they're traveling, they get so big that he may not have time for us, but I'm going to try to get him back for a year. Okay. I promise.
if
Okay.
I don't have time, I'll make time, especially for you. All right, hey, thank you again for having me. This song's Now
You're
That You're
welcome.
Gone. And yeah, let's do this. Your perfume is running like poison through my veins. Memory, it won't stop driving me insane. I don't want to give you up, but you left me here alone. I'm missing you so much, but I guess you'll never know. Dead flowers in your favorite color vase, meant for you. You just went through it all away. Spring and summer nights and the sweaty summer days. You took your box of matches and you set it up in flames. Because you left just the way I knew you would. Now I ain't feeling better like I should. Now that you're gone. Because you left just the way I knew you would. Now I ain't feeling better like I should. Now that you're gone. I guess I could have put up a better fight. Maybe then you'd still be here with me tonight. It doesn't change the fact you're gone. You gave my heart the axe. Missing you so much, but you're never coming back. Because you left just the way I knew you would. Now I ain't feeling better like I should. Now that you're gone. Now that you're gone. Now that you're Thank you.
Yes. Well, I was going back and forth with your mom, telling her I'm going to purchase a copy, but I want mine autographed. Okay.
That won't be a problem.
Whether I get it from you or whatever, I think you have, and I do have to do this. I think you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have more than 10 claps from Olivia. Okay. And that's the one, she's from Australia. So you have another fan. Olivia, I want you to share this because I want more people to, I want for people to know who he is because he's a young guy and he's really, you hear his voice. Okay, Olivia, you keep doing the claps. Okay. You're giving him 50 claps. We get it. That's why he's on the show. So if we want you to share the show so we can get people to purchase his music as well, because again, this is an awesome talent and he has nowhere to go but up, let's face it. So again, Garrett, it's just been a pleasure having you, your mom, and I think I saw who else. Olivia said she already shared it. I think she may be your biggest fan. So her and I are going to have a little conversation after this because I don't like anyone doing that to me because I said I'm your biggest fan. So we're going to have some issues right now, but you don't have to worry about this, Garrett. That's between her and I. So again, I want to thank your parents for just making, just creating a wonderful human being. We have Deb and Deb Fleischman. She's saying that your music is phenomenal and you're just a good guy. And I think that's Joaquin, because I kept calling him Wakan or whatever. That's Joaquin Larico.
There we go.
Yeah, Joaquin. So I remembered how to pronounce that name. And Chuck, we're going to figure it out, Chuck. We're going to find out what he's going to do in 5 years from now. Let's say he's going to win a couple of Grammys, have a beautiful home. You're going to get whatever you want. You're going to be retired. And if you are retired, you're going to be traveling around the world. How about that for a 5-year plan? Okay.
There we go. The timer's counting now. Yeah. 4 years, 364 days, and about 23 hours to make all that happen. No pressure.
None whatsoever. So that's why we have to get your music out there because it takes a village and you can't do it by yourself. You're bringing the talent. You're creating, you're doing wonderful things in the community. So it's our job now. You brought it to us. So our job is to share it and make sure that people buy it. So I'm definitely going to purchase it and I'm definitely going to share it with a lot of my people. And summer's coming. I'm going to be cranking it up, driving my car and just bop into Lily because I love Lily. I love it.
I'm glad
So
you enjoyed it.
I'll
And
be
hey,
doing
thank you
that.
again for having me. This is a blast, and thanks for giving me a platform to not only promote my music, but thank you for always promoting positivity, which is definitely needed right now.
Oh, who you telling? But again, you have an open because again, I want Olivia to know you have anytime you want to come on the show, anytime you want to promote anything, you're one of the few I can give the card to and just tell me we'll make it happen. So don't think that you have to wait for my invitation when you have something coming out, something you want to talk about. You're my nephew, you have an open invitation. So I want you to know that I'm here to support you because we have to support the youngins, as I call you guys, the youngins. So that's my job to do that. So without further ado, Mr. Garrett Wheeler, I just wish you abundant success, health, prosperity, and things that you want to come to fruition. So, and I believe in the laws of attraction. I see the beautiful guitars back there. I'm sure the next shows we're going to be doing, you're going to be playing all the guitars. Okay. We're going to be rocking some more because we're going to be in person and I'm going to be
Oh yeah.
dancing. I'm going to be doing maybe your backup singer. No, I don't think you want to hear me sing. I don't know about that right now. I don't know about that. No, no, no. This is shower music, not music for other people to hear. When I sing, the dogs howl, okay? Maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but I'm trying to get this gig to be your background singer. But anyway, I want you to have a wonderful day. Please be safe. And again, thank you for being on the show. We want to thank everyone for tuning into the Women Are Worthy show. Please, please support us by liking our show, The Women Are Worthy Show on Facebook, The Women Are Worthy Show on Instagram, and also our YouTube channels, The Women Are Worthy Network. So please feel free to share the show, but more importantly, we'd like you to follow us on social media. So without further ado, I want to thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful week and a great weekend coming up. Bye, Garrett.
Thank you again for having me, and thank y'all for watching.
Bye.